2024 is going to be massive. It's going to change everything that we have seen. And in this video, I'm going to talk about US and Mexico, US and China. We're going to look at crypto and Bitcoin. We are going to talk about Russia, Ukraine, and so much more. You came here for the truth, so let me unveil that for you. My name is David Kuntiri, and what I do is I bring you the truth unfiltered and raw. And here is one of those videos. We're going to start with what's happening with the United States and Mexico. You've been seeing the back and forth, of course. We've also heard nearshoring and friendshoring. And what this term means is we have established China is the enemy. We want to do away with China. So now we're going to have to rely more on Mexico as well as manufacturing in the United States. Well, already we have seen some changes. You may have seen this. Mexico warns Trump tariffs would kill 400,000 U.S. jobs, threatens retaliation. We had Mexico's president saying basically that we've got a problem with what you say. And if you look at, you can actually see the entire quote, I'm writing this to you and so on. And like a day later, Mexican president claims no potential tariff war with the U.S. after call with Trump. There was a cooperative call who threatened the 25% tariffs against Mexico. Suddenly, everything's A-okay. I believe what's happening here with China, with Mexico to different degrees, that we are going in hot and heavy, and then we're going to take a step back. I think that's probably the way it's going to go, that this is being used as 2 steps forward, 1 step back. This wouldn't be a very unique process, right? Because we have seen this type of thing before. Understand that tariffs are not a solution, but it's essentially saying we're going to punish. This is not something that fixes the problem. The reason why things got moved overseas wasn't just because of, somebody's desire to do so. This was because the intention was to move those jobs away. Those jobs got moved. If you start to put a tax on that, of course, it's going to immediately, at least in the short period of time, within a 5-year, maybe 10-year time frame, it is going to be a problem. But maybe, just maybe, they won't even need to apply it. How can they get around that? We'll talk about it more in just a second. Now, these aren't just 2 beautiful faces. No, we are going to talk about debanking. You may have seen this. It started to go viral. This is Mark Andreessen, who is big in the venture capital space, particularly with crypto. He's working with all these different crypto founders, these startups. They're going from zero all the way to like millions and billions. And then they got debanked. Literally couldn't use Visa, couldn't process transactions. They didn't have access to a bank. JP Morgan said, take your money and run. And they didn't have an alternative. And so what happened here is that these companies couldn't do anything. They had to stay quiet and just hope that their personal assets, which in most cases weren't disrupted, wouldn't be taken out from underneath them. They kind of just went into the shadows, and now it's coming to light. So this was unveiled. There were 30. Then others have come forward ever since. You have this. What did you get done this week? Andreessen also criticized the number of federal workers who have not returned to the office since 2020 and referenced Musk's approach to Twitter takeover as a potential example of how they could be held accountable. I think that they are hoping big things will be changing in the government. This is all part of it because you have these groups. Many of them are elected for one thing, but just as we know, when they put a bill through, what happens? Oh, it's called the Get Workers Back to Work bill. And then you look at it, it's like, why is there like missiles in here? Why is there like, the right to spy on Americans in here? Why is that in this bill that's called Get Workers Back to Work bill? Oh, yeah, well, we just have to put that in to hurry up and sign it or else you're not patriotic. That's what happens every time. That's the problem with a big bureaucracy. That needs to go away. It doesn't need to be changed from left to right, right to left. That's nonsense. That is a paradigm shift people need to have. Vivek and Elon are fuming that Melania and Barron Trump were debanked. They were even part of this, apparently. Okay? So it just goes to show you many people lost access to banking, or at least some banks had said, we don't want to deal with you. That's the level of control. We have the crypto and Bitcoin here. And I find it unusual. I went into this in depth on the Finance Friday live, suggesting that suddenly every country, everyone is starting to turn positive to crypto and in Bitcoin. Putin signs law recognizing Bitcoin and crypto as property. So they're making official, they're like stamping this into the law, right? You have Visa, who once said, we will not deal with anything to do with cryptocurrency. We're not going to touch it. You're bad. You're, doing illicit activity. Now they have their own department. And this guy right here, the head of crypto at Visa, making sense of stablecoins. They're making money off of it. There's no question about that, right? If you want to get the in-depth, 2 hours every single Friday, and we do separately, on the Sunday, we do 2 hours live. We'll talk about that later. But if you want to get in for free, the last 3 times, people have not replied to my email. You won the giveaway. Reply to the email. It might be in your junk folder, david@themoneygps.com. I am giving away 3 Finance Fridays. Please respond to the email. I email you. I said, hey, congratulations, you're a winner. You got to look through your junk mail. If you have won previously and you just didn't email me back, you didn't reply back to me. Let's get you in. You won. Come on in. Hit that link in the description if you want to get on the Finance Friday. Every single time people do it, when I email the winner, they never reply. So please do so, or most of the time anyway. I want you to get on the Finance Friday for free. You could win. All right. Here we go. China, US. We have this as well. China and air cargo flights soar as Trump return tariffs loom. Now companies are basically saying, let's bring in a whole bunch of products because you don't want to have to pay more later. And that's what they'll suggest they're going to do. It's, of course, not a long-term solution, but I think what's going to happen here is they're going to say, look, if you don't want the tariff, do this. And that will be used as a bargaining chip. At the same time, China could fight back with that. And all they got to do is devalue their currency a little bit in order to offset some of the tariffs. You may have seen BYD, the car company, they told their suppliers of their parts, they said, you better lower your prices by 10%. And immediately the suppliers, one of them at least, came back with a letter and said, absolutely not. We're not going to do it. We can't do it. This is dangerous. We're not going to do this and reduce our prices all the way. And, that'll be bad practices and so on. They said, no, there is a pushback. And I believe ultimately, if the tariffs do come in, people will have to pay higher prices because companies will not accept lower profit margins. It's just not going to happen. Somebody's got to take a hit somewhere. And the consumer, you and I, usually get the short end of the stick. You might be asking yourself, who stands to gain? Cui bono, right? In all of this. Well, already we're seeing it. US mercenary firms compete for huge contracts to control security in North Gaza. Uh-oh. Here we go. Military-industrial complex wins again. Zelensky, I'll give up Ukrainian territory to Russia to achieve peace. And what are they talking about? You can see some refer to this as the land bridge, this area right here, all the way to Crimea. And basically, what's going to come of this, we will see. But in the rebuilding process, in both of these wars, there will be winners. We know who the losers are. We know who's getting decimated. But we have to understand that there's always going to be companies that are able to profit from it, that are going to do very well from it. And that's just one example. The military-industrial complex always wins. What can you do as an individual right now? Of course, if you are selling products online, I just spoke with one subscriber who is actually manufacturing in Indonesia. They don't have to face the same type of tariffs and things that if you're getting supplies from China. It's a very different world, right? So look at what you're doing. Where are you getting products from? If you're not in business, my goodness, get in business. What are the businesses I have? I have a physical products business that I sell products on multiple platforms. I now have I'm working on an app, creating my own app. The app is related to the Amazon business or Amazon primarily. I will be connecting to the other platforms soon enough. So I'm learning. Do I know how to code? Well, I'm learning, right? I'm going through it. I have a functional app already, learning to make it better using AI, okay? Why am I doing these things? Well, because I want to be able to live in this world where I can be mobile. I want freedom. I want geographical freedom. I want to be able to pick up and go when I need to. Not that I have to, but that I can, because my income is sourced from different countries around the world in different currencies. How can you do that? Let me know if you need help. If you just want to reach out to me, don't be afraid. Contact me, okay? You can get more information at themoneygps.com/live. That's my 2 hours on Friday, 2 hours on Sunday program, okay? But if you just want to reach me, there's a link down in there, and you could just say, find out more, and you could just email me and say, hey, what do you think? Let me know. I want to hear from you. If you appreciate this information, hit that thumbs up button and get on the giveaway. It's free. It's free. Get on the giveaway. Link is in the description. If you want more information about the Money GPS, just go to themoneygps.com, and you can get Compass. Is totally free. There's so much free stuff on there. All right. I'll see you next time. Take care.